All right. Hello, friends. Well, welcome to this unusual PD that we are having where we are doing our professional development online. I thank you so much for participating and being here today. I'm Diane Kimsey, and I am your math consulting teacher, the elementary math consulting teacher. Before we get too far into this, this is a meeting about using the two websites, Great Minds and Embarc, to enhance our lessons for Eureka Math. If we were meeting in person, I would have paper and pencil for you, something to take notes. So if you would like to pause the video at this time and go grab yourself a writing utensil and some paper, please feel free to do that. So while you pause, I'm going to go ahead and bring up our shared screens. So go ahead and push pause if you would like, and I will see you in just a moment. Okay, going to the shared screen. Okay, are we all back? Fantastic. Again, I wish I could say it's great to see you. I hope I see you all very soon. So again, this is using Great Minds and the website Embarc to help enhance our Eureka math lessons. Let's go ahead and get started. As with everything and anything that we do now with USD 501, we have a learning intention and success criteria. I know you are more than capable of reading, but as is true with what we always do, I'm going to go ahead and read to you the learning intentions. We are learning the benefits of using the websites Great Minds and Embarc for lesson planning and presentation tools. Okay? We will be successful. All right, so what success looks like. We will be successful when we discover helpful resource tools on Great Minds website. We will find presentation tools on Embarc. We will discover games and other tools that are on Embarc. And we will discover that there are videos on both websites. As a matter of fact, Great Minds has more than 18 hours per grade level of videos. And I believe Embarc is very, very close to having 18 hours as well. So my goodness, that's more than a day and a half. That's 36 hours of videos available. We're going to get started by going to the Great Minds website. Before we go to the Great Minds website, I do want you to know that back in August, everybody, way back in August 2019, when we used to meet in a brick and mortar building, right? Everybody was sent a email from Yvonne Spalding about the Great Minds website. So if you're not in Great Minds, again, we can pause the video right here, and you need to go to your email. Type in at the top there in the search part for Yvonne Spalding and look for an email that you would have received from her back in August. You can either pause the video now and do it, or you can do that at the end. At the end, I give you information about this once again. Okay, if you have the Great Minds website already set up, fantastic. You're going to go, as it says right up here at the very top of the screen, you're going to greatminds.org. Again, if you have not set this up yet, you will need to do that in order to access all this information. Great Minds is the home website. It's the parent website for Eureka Math, and it is loaded with information. I'm going to go ahead and click on the website. It's going to take us on out there. Let me move my little video screen. All right. Give everybody a second. Are you there? Fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and click on, I've already logged in. So if you haven't logged in yet, up here where my button says my dashboard, yours will say login. So if you have logged into Great Minds, you have the account, you know you do, go ahead and let's click on login. I'm going to go ahead and click where it says my dashboard. Ever since this COVID-19, I've been having some issues with the Great Minds website showing up, as you can see right here. Let me circle it with the annotation pen, with some of this gobbledygook, if you will. I don't know what to say, so we'll just deal with it and move on with it. Okay. Well, the very first thing that I want to share with you is the digital website, is the navigator. And so if you haven't added this to your dashboard yet, what you're going to do is come to the orange bar here. You're going to go where it says My Resources. Our district has paid for every classroom teacher, and I just want to express that this is for the classroom teachers. It's rather expensive, so I'm sorry it was not purchased for every single certified educator, but it's for the classroom teachers. We have purchased the Eureka Navigator Digital Suite. And so it should be sitting first right here in your resources. The rest of the resources I have here, we will be talking about some of them, not all of these. I have quite a few. These are all available by coming over and clicking on the search button. Again, we're going to talk about some of these later, so we'll get to it. But the Eureka Navigator Digital Suite should be sitting right here for you. So if you'll go ahead and you'll want to click on the push pin right here. And when you click on that push pin, it's going to add it to your dashboard. Okie doke. So now I'm back to my dashboard. Are we doing all right? All right, I'm going to click on. So it used to be called Eureka Navigator. It has been called Digital Suite. And so I like the fact that they have both names there with the Digital Suite in parentheses. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. Mine always comes up with this. And then I have to go back to my resources. Again, we're having problems. We aren't. I would say it's Great Minds, and this has been ever since the COVID-19. So I guess maybe the website has a bit of a virus. There we go. So we're on it. I love this part. This is just rich beyond words. As you can see, when we bring it up, it shows here in green grades pre-K through 5. We can click where it says grades 6 through 8. And then here are grades 9 through 12. We as a district, USD 501, we have access to all of this. We use Eureka Math from pre-K through 12th grade. Okay, now we do use something different for the calculus areas. All right, I'm going to go back to grades PK through 5. You'll see that it's in different colors. If we go ahead and scroll down here to the bottom, you'll see down here at the bottom that it gives a key for the different colors. See where I'm at? And so the yellow is all about numbers, and of course that's in the preschool area and, and in kindergarten. The light green color or light blue color is geometry. And then that greenish, the brighter green color is numbers, geometry, and measurement. And then the pink is fractions. And something that I found very interesting when I looked at this website 2 years ago when we first adopted Eureka, the thing that really jumped out at me was the fact that take a look at that pink for fractions. What are you noticing? Are you noticing that the very first time fractions is actually taught is 3rd grade? Now, there may be some of you sitting out there that are preschool, kindergarten, 1st or 2nd grade teachers, and you're like, that's not true. It's in geometry that you start talking about taking a shape and cutting it into smaller units or equal pieces. But it's not until we get to 3rd grade that the math curriculum actually uses that word, fractions. So I find that very interesting. If you look at it again in grade 3, we're going to talk about fractions in just 1 unit. In grade 4, it takes a whole year before we talk about fractions again. And so we don't talk about fractions again until, like I said, a whole year later. We're going to talk about in module 5, module 6. Look at 5th grade. Holy cow, they're going to talk about fractions. Let me move my screen here a little bit for you. They're going to talk about fractions in the 1st quarter. Are you seeing that over here on the right? They're going to talk about fractions in the 1st quarter, the 2nd quarter, and all the way to, well, let's talk fractions, 2/3 of the 3rd quarter. So fractions are the heart and soul of 5th grade. So when we're talking clear back here in preschool and we're taking those shapes and we're making them into smaller pieces, we're talking about equal pieces, you see how important that is for 5th grade later. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started here and take a look at some of these different parts. Going across the top here of our screen, you see where it says the different grade levels in green. Let's just pick on second grade. It's pretty much right here in the middle. If I click on that green where it says grade 2, you're going to see where it breaks it down even further for us. So we can take a look at the modules. So for instance, module 1, take a look, it's just 10 days long and it's 2 topics. So topic A is just 2 lessons. And so this is another way that we can look at the information that's within the topics. It's just a really quick, nice overview. And of course, by clicking on any of these numbers, let's say we're looking at, well, let's just take a look at, let's say we're at module 3, or at topic G, and gosh, I wonder what happens in lesson 20. We can click on lesson 20 and boom, we're there, okay? We'll talk about how I got there again in just a moment. All right. So on the right-hand side, again, I pointed out a moment ago, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Of course, here in Kansas, that's how we work, is by the quarter. On the left-hand side is the trimester, and some states, some school districts, they go by trimester. So we do not, and I just ignore that side. We travel again, we go by the quarters. Again, let's go this time, let's go to, let's say, grade 4, and let's go to module 5. So would everybody come down here to grade 4, module 5. When I click on it, it's going to take me to an overview of the module. And so I know I can click here. By the way, as a classroom teacher, a former classroom teacher, I never carried home the math book. The entire math book is right here on the website. So I didn't have to carry, you know, they're big, they're heavy. I had everything I needed right here on the website. So the entire teacher module is within this PDF right here, the student files, and again, the student file B. I can come on over here and slide down a little bit if my mouse will let me. I can click where it says read more. And this is where it gives me all the information. My goodness, my mouse is being temperamental. All the information, and if you think about this with your math book, all this information is in the very beginning. When you open up that new module, all this information that you're seeing right here is in the very front of your module. I love the handwritten pictures of the math, how they did the math. I think it makes it so much more user-friendly than seeing the typed out ways. So here is all the information that you typically see at the beginning of the math of each of the modules, okay? As we come on down, it gives us what we call the distribution of minutes. So this very first part, topic A, I know it's going to take me 6 days to do. I can click right here where it says topic A. And so now at this particular moment, I'm looking at only the information that is important for topic A. And I see what standards are in topic A. I see it's going to be NFB3 and NFB4A. I can also go down here at the bottom of the screen, and I think this is just so important, is the coherence. So where did the kids first learn this information? And as you can see, the kids initially learned this information, where at? In grade 3, and that one and only module in grade 3. So we knew it was going to be in module 5. Where will they learn it next? So after they leave me and they've learned this information, when will they learn this information, or when will this information be taken to the next level? Well, when they get to grade 5, module 3. So remember, they will have it in module 1, 2, 3, and 4. So they won't see this information again until they hit module 3. So I can't remember exactly when that started, but I would say roughly, what, maybe December or January, okay? So it's very important that the information that I give them, the learning that they get from these 6 lessons, is something they can carry on. Now I can also, let me go ahead and close this. There we go, the annotation buttons. Let me go ahead and scroll back up here to the top. And there's up here at the top some really important information. The focus grade level standards. I'm going to click on this down caret. And these are the particular standards that we are going to be talking about in this module. Now, in this particular topic, however, again, we're going to be talking about NFB3 and NFB4. And so I can come up here and say, all right, so that NFB3 and NFB4 right here. So we're going to build fractions with unit fractions. I can click on that and take a look at it. And again, it gives me some information. When throughout 4th grade will we be talking about this particular standard? Well, take a look. Holy cow, that's a lot of lessons. Do you see that right here? Module 5 and all of these lessons. But hold on, wait just 1 second. Where in the lesson will we actually see this? Do you see where we're actually going to see this at? We're going to see it in where? The fluency activities. So it is oh so important that when we are teaching these lessons, we're paying attention to the fluency part and we are hitting the fluency so our kids will have an opportunity to learn the standard. Otherwise, they will not learn the standard if we do not teach it in the fluency part. Come on down. Let's take a look where else. Again, it continues to be where else? In the fluency part. You see how important it is to teach the fluency every single day, every single lesson. So please pay attention to that. Okay, let's go back up. Let's take the screen back. And we also have what are called the foundation standards. So if I needed to review, not every single 4th grader comes to us exactly ready for every single lesson we're about to teach. Sometimes we do need to do a little differentiation. And so what is nice about this is, so that in F3, we can come over here to in grade 3 and NF3. Let's go take a look at it. We can click on it. We can go down and say, hey kids, oh my goodness, take a look again. Where was it taught? In the fluency. So we can say, hey kids, do you remember back in 3rd grade? And sometimes all you have to do is whoops, I brought up a 4th grade one, didn't I? Do you remember in 3rd grade, you may have had an activity. So we come down here, take a look, here it is, counting by fractional units. And it's counting by 1/8. If I said 1/8, what comes next? 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8. Let's go back down. 4/8, 3/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, right? And so it is important that we are teaching the fluency. And this is a really good example right here. All right. I'm going to go back to, I always just come up here and click where it says Eureka Math. And it brings us back to this screen. So that's just an example of the importance of making sure that we are teaching fluency on a daily basis. All right, so let's walk our way through a lesson. And let's go to grade 3. I'm going to go to module 4, multiplication and arrays. This particular unit, as you see, it's going to take us 20 days. It says so right here. Okay. Again, here is the story in this 20-day module. I find it very, very interesting to always read these. At least go through and take a look at this, because this is something that's oh so important. Topic A, that's going to be our very first one. So might as well read about it and see what's going to happen. And then, whoops, doggone it, I'm sorry about that. Let me undo that. Let me go ahead and clear this, and those annotations don't stick to this particular spot. They stick to the screen. All right, and it tells us, what I like about this is it tells us which standard that we're looking at, how this crossovers to the different standards. Here is topic B, so measurement and data. Here's topic C. Here's topic D. And then here's some notes on the pacing part of the entire module. And so this is always important for us to think about if we're falling behind or it feels like it's crunch time or we need to omit something. It lets us know what we could do. We could consolidate 2 of our lessons. We could omit lesson 9. We could omit lessons 15 and 16. Please always double check these lessons before you're like, well, the book said we could omit them. Make sure they are things that your kids have indeed, that they have a really good grasp on before you go, yep, I'm going to skip it because the book says I can. All right. It also tells us which standards of mathematical practice we're going to be getting into. And then it's going to get down to the distribution of, excuse me, minutes. All right. I think it's always interesting to see. Let's take a look at topic B here for just a second. If you take a look, topic B says it's going to take 6 days. Are you noticing that? But how many lessons do you see? I just see 4 lessons. But what follows lesson 8? Right, the mid-module assessment. Now, how you do that mid-module assessment is up to you. Do you want to do a preview of it with your kids, let's say on Wednesday, and give them the mid-module assessment then on Thursday? That's up to you. Or do you want to give it to them on Wednesday and then on Thursday review it and give them a second chance to fix some of the problems that they got wrong? Again, that's up to you and your teaching team. But whatever you do, let's please make sure that you talk to your teaching team so it's fair from one classroom to another. So when administration is looking at the data and they're like, wow, look at this. In room A, the kids got 100%. But when I look at room B, only 50% of the kids are passing the mid-module assessment. I wonder what's going on. So make sure that however you do it, you're doing it consistent with your teaching partner or partners, okay? All right, let's go ahead and scroll up here to the top. I just want to make sure that we've gone over a few things. So again, we have the standards, we have the foundation. So where did this start? And we're looking at grade 3. And so it's showing us back in grade 2, some of the things that if we need to differentiate, and these are great things to look at and perhaps do in a workstation or at the teacher's table. Another thing is these little blue things, so the highlighted. So I always like to look at them. And so these are the mathematical practices. In this module, here are the terms that we're going to use. So here's the terminology. We can click on it, and it's going to tell us in this particular module. It's also going to show us what an area model is versus just the word area. And we can print these off for the kids, but if you'll hold on, I'm going to show you another way that we can do that as well. Okay. Materials list, the assessment summary, and then this is always nice as well. Not all of these are active links. And so this is scaffolding for different ways of doing differentiation for mathematics, okay? All right, so let's go back up here. I'm gonna go back a page. So now let's go ahead and get into teaching. Let's go ahead and open up. I'm going to go to topic A. And here is more information about that lesson, about what we're going to be learning in topic A. And they're going to tell us about lesson 1, lesson 2, lessons 3 and 4, and so how they break down. And I think that is so important that you as the classroom teacher, you know that information. Okay, so I'm going to come on down now. I'm going to go to lesson 1, great place to start. And so this is to understand area as an attribute of plane figures. Now our kids, that's a lot of information right there. Understand, I would start by asking the kids, what in the world does it mean to understand? And then we're gonna do area. What does area mean? Attributes, holy cow, what are attributes? Plane, and of course they're probably gonna think about an airplane, right? And plane figures, so let's tie it to the word figures. What's a plane figure? What's a figure? And so it's really important to talk to the kids about those different words, and let's tie those words to math and what we're going to be learning today. Over here on the right are the lesson materials. And so the full lesson, and if I click on that, it's a PDF. And what you see, doesn't that look familiar? That's exactly right out of your book, isn't it? And so here's the fluency. We have 3 different areas of fluency. Now, as a classroom teacher, it's very important that you do one of them. Can you do all 3? Shoot, yes, knock yourself out. But you need to do one. We need to take a look at these and see which one do we think the kids need the most. If there's a sprint, I'll tell you what I typically do with a sprint as a classroom teacher. I keep the sprint for the very end. You know those kids who always get done first and they're like, what do you want me to do now? I'm done. I give them the sprint, let them kind of time each other. They love to be timers and learn to watch that second hand on the clock on your wall. They love timing each other. We'll get back to that in a minute. So I'm going to look at these and go, okay, so what was today's lesson about again? Oh yeah, something to do with understanding area and attributes of plane figures, right? And so we could talk about, do we want to do the group counting, identify the shapes, let's start there maybe, and find common products. Products, what does that mean? All right, so then we can come on down and take a look at the three different ones and see which one do we think maybe our kids need the most. And so you need to look at one and say, okay, you know what? I think the one that maybe my kids need the most is, and choose it. Okay, I'm going to go back. And that's the one you need to do. And so that is down here with the fluency part. Again, choose the one that your kids need. You'll notice down below here is the notes section. And this is where you could type in, I did the blah, blah, blah fluency, but think I probably should have done the blah, blah, blah instead. That way next year, when it's time to teach this very lesson, you can go, oh, I do remember that. I'll do this instead. Now, what is interesting is there's a video that goes with every single lesson. The video for this particular lesson happens to be in the fluency, and it happens to be with identify the shape. Here's your video sitting right over here. And so all you would have to do is click on it. These videos are for you, the classroom teacher. Every now and then I'll watch one of the videos and I'll think to myself, you know, this might be a good video for my class to watch as well. This video happens to be 3 minutes long. And so it's there for you to watch and then decide, should I just imitate this video and do this for my class? Or is this a video my class needs to watch? Now, if your class is watching it, so are you, and you are partaking in it. This isn't when you're going to go over and check your email. This is not when you're going to go meet with a child. This is part of the math lesson. Don't forget that, please, I'm begging you. Now we go to the next section, and it's my favorite part, and it's the application math problem part. Your application problem is presented right here. I'm going to show you in just a little bit how you're going to find it on a Google slideshow or on a Promethean flip chart, okay? Now, the heart and soul of Eureka Math happens to be 3 letters, and I'm sure every single one of you know this, right? Read, draw, write. And if you'll notice, all 3 of those components are right here. Here is the read, here is the draw, and here is the write. And if you're not teaching your kids to read, to draw, to write with every single math lesson, you're letting your kids down. It is the heart and the soul of Eureka Math. It is how Eureka Math has become so famous. Jo Boaler teaches, and she's a famous mathematician, professor out of Stanford University. She strongly says that we as teachers teach kids too much about the rules of math instead of the patterns that they should see in math. And by teaching the kids to read and to draw and to write to help them get to the answer, we're teaching them the patterns. And so please make sure that you are sharing that with the kids, that they are reading, they are drawing, they are writing to get to their answers. It is also important that you read to your kids this application problem. There is no problem right now to look out at your classroom and say, all right, who wants to tell me what is going to be the first thing you're going to draw? Anybody have an idea what they're going to draw? Oh, good idea. I like that. Oh, and you're going to draw that. That's a great idea. Anybody else have an idea what they're going to draw? What are you going to write? What do you think? Oh, I like that idea, and I like that idea. Okay, well, we're going to spend the next 5 minutes, and we're going to work on these as independently. Again, you're going to read this math problem to your kids first. You're going to help them to get to success. If all you say is, all right, guys, there's the application problem, get started, you're setting them up for failure. And this is when they're going, ah, it's too hard, I can't do it. And they close down on you. Please don't do that. Set your kids up for success. This is not reading, this is math. We can read to them every single word. So please do that. I love the application problems. It's my favorite part of teaching Eureka Math. Next comes the concept development part. And in this particular concept development part, take a look. They're wanting you to spend 30 minutes. This is a wonderful area that you need to preview before you teach the lesson. Again, I'm going to say that. You need to preview this before you teach the lesson. If you're teaching the lesson with a book in your hand and you're reading a book, you're telling your students out there, hey guys, I didn't prepare for this. You should be giving them your 100% attention, not the Eureka Math book, but your students, your 100% attention. This is a great way to learn the dialogue, what you should be saying to your kids. It's just a wonderful way of talking to them. Again, I love the notes that they always give out here to the side. Oftentimes these are great tips, especially for your kids who have perhaps a learning disability, maybe a speech disability, or a language disability. They come to us from another language. It could be a multitude of things. Also, sometimes they give us information on what to do on the computer. Or even if you have a gifted education child, how to move this lesson along for them. So please always make sure you check this area. Again, you need to read this, and it gives you wonderful ideas as to what perhaps will students, how will they respond when we talk about this particular area. So please make sure you're paying attention to this. And you need to spend approximately 30 minutes. You need to kind of gauge yourself. Look up there at the clock. Okay, it's 5 minutes till 10. I know by 25 minutes after 10, I need to be done with the concept development, and we're going to move on to the next part. And so the student debrief is an extremely important part in this one, in every single one of them. It gives us the lesson objective again. We need to get back together as a class, say, all right, guys, we're done now with the problem set. We're going to look at, let's talk about this. What went well, what was difficult, and then you're going to give them the exit ticket, okay? We're not going to give them that exit ticket, though, until we have had a chance to talk about the problems. Now, let's go back up here. Let's take a look at the problem set. And so what I like about what Eureka Math does is this slow letting go. The first problem or two, they really hold your hands well. And then as you go further into the problem, they start taking away some of the information. And it gets a little bit harder as each problem goes along. Now, it's really important as a classroom teacher for you to read each of these and take a look. What is different from 1 to 2, from 3 to 4? And then you're going to pull up your exit ticket and say, okay, how is this different from the problem set? What was different? How can I help my kids be successful? So when they get to the exit ticket, they can do this without, oh, this is too hard, right? We've all had that. We've all seen that. So how is it that I can teach this successfully so my kids will do well? What is also important for you to remember is it is not important for the kids to do every single one of the problems on the problem set. So you need to know what is on the exit ticket, what is expected when this lesson is over. That exit ticket is what is expected. So make sure you look at the exit ticket. What problems on that exit ticket match up well with the problem set? Okay? Are we good? All right. Those are some of my favorite parts to the, oh, and we can click here to go on to our next lesson and so on. I can go back up here to topic A and again reread and see, all right, what was it they were wanting me to do before going on to topic B. I can also go to module 4 again and come on down here. My goodness, the mouse keeps popping up strangely. I'm sorry about that. What's also very important is this mid-module assessment. So take a look here at problem 1. It should look very similar to what you were seeing on the exit ticket there on problem 1. I think it's very important that you as the classroom teacher, first of all, you should know this assessment inside and out. You should know every single bit about it. But there's nothing wrong with your students also knowing about it, okay? And so here's a wonderful rubric at the end about what is expected in order to get all 4 points for each and every one of those questions. So I hope you are paying attention to this before you teach the lessons, before you teach each of the topics. I always download these. I have it as a sheet of paper. I put it underneath my document camera. I teach the lesson. When the lesson is over, part of that debriefing time, I'll put this underneath the document camera and go, all right, guys, let's take a look at the assessment. When we finish lesson, I can't remember what was it, 7 or 8, we're going to take a mid-module assessment. And so 7 or 8 lessons away from now, you're going to have to remember how to do this today. Can you tell me which one of these problems on here do you think is similar to what we did in today's lesson? And so this will be on our assessment again when we finish about lesson 7. It gives the kids, again, part of that ownership of their math, which I think is oh so important. Okay, so that's all part of, oops, I went back too far. I'm sorry, there we go. So it was after lesson 8. So that is all part of what we find when we go into the navigator. Now I want to go back because now I'd like to show you something for the kindergarten teachers that I think is really exciting. You know, in kindergarten, you have so many checkoff sheets, right? Can the kids do this, 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 and this? And so I'm just going to come on down here and click on Module 4. And I think this is something that's really cool that Eureka Math has just recently completed for all of the modules in kindergarten. If we come on down, and again, this is only available, I'm sorry, for kindergarten. I think it'd be awesome to have this for all the different grade levels. They have this area that's called Observational Assessment. They have a user's guide, Module 4 overview. Take a look right here. I think this is pretty awesome. The checklist and cards. I hope, kindergarten friends, that you're all aware of these. I'm going to show it to you in just a second. Opportunities by lessons, I think, is awesome. Opportunities by key concepts and support towards mastery. Let's start here with the checklist and cards. All right. I think these are awesome. All right, I know that it's printed going the opposite direction, just tilt our heads and we'll be okay. Obviously, right here, we're going to put all of our little students' names, right? And so let's pretend that this is Susie. So Susie, there's your S for Susie. So coming across, we have all the different areas that we're wanting to see how is Susie doing. And so if we, there we go, get that annotation button turned off so I can move my screen here. And so we can come across and see, let's say we're working on this particular area right here. Represents addition using abstract notation. All right, and so the task is, how's Susie doing with numbers 1 through 3? How about 4 to 5? How about 6 to 8? How about 9 to 10? And so we can put in information and even come down here at the end for the notes, the final notes at the end. And so this is just a wonderful way to, I think they've done a really nice job with providing these checkoff lists for us. And then if we come on down even further, I kind of like the next set. These would be individual ones, and you can print these off on the large size recipe file cards if you wanted to, or just print them off on paper like this and have them available on a clipboard or however it is. Kindergarten teachers, you guys are amazing taskmasters when it comes to things of this sort. But here are individual cards that you could do for the kids. You know, how are they doing with this? By actions, using the actual objects, to drawing it out, to using numbers. And so from that DOK1 to a 2 to a 3 to the actual 4 of using numerals. So I think these are pretty darn amazing. But they also have, I like this, opportunities by lesson. I think this is pretty sharp. So for instance, in lesson 1, take a look here. We know that in lesson 1, so this is making 3, 4, 5, they're going to compose, they're going to represent, and it gives us the different standards that they're going to be working on. And then when again, so in lesson 3, when this particular, so take a look when this particular standard repeats, and again then in lesson 4, and so on. So I think this is an awesome way to take a look at the different standards as well. And then the opportunities by key concepts. And so if we're looking at, and I love again how this is broken up, composing and decomposing numbers to 10, and then we come on down, representing with actions, objects, and drawings, come on down, representing addition abstractly, and then using word problems, finding the number that makes 10, and so on. So I think they've done an awesome job with this. If you're not aware of this already, I hope you find this amazing knowing about it now, okay? All right. And so that's available just for kindergarten. I think it'd be amazing if they had that available at all of the different grade levels. Okay, let's go on back. Again, this is in Great Minds, and this is using the digital suite, or also known as the Navigator. I'm going to go back to the dashboard and show you some of the other things that are available. There's the Kansas alignment. You know, when we teach math here in the state of Kansas, we don't follow what Eureka Math says. We follow what the Kansas standards say that we are to teach. And so the Kansas standards is our goal, our final, where we want to be when we're done, right? We want to say that we mastered all these standards for the state of Kansas. Well, how are we going to do it? Well, the tool we're going to use happens to be Eureka Math. It's the one that we chose. No tool out there covers every single standard in the state of Kansas, you know, in a wowee, fabulous, thank you, you did a perfect job way. I'm going to pick here on grade 3 for a second. We can download this or we can view it, and I'm just going to choose to view it. And so what we're going to do, we're going to come down here and take a look. They have a key. And so this is going to be all of the Kansas standards. And it's going to compare our Kansas standards to how's Eureka Math doing in presenting. And so we want everything to be green. If it has to, yellow, all right? But we sure don't want to see any reds and blues. And so we're going to come on down. This is green. And so we're just going to keep looking, and we're looking at this color bar, green. So far it looks like they cover all the standards well, doesn't it? So we're going to keep going, green, green. And so this is just a really important thing for you to take a look at. Is there anything that you as a classroom teacher need to cover a little bit better than what they are doing with Eureka Math? Ooh, here we go. Wait a second. So we just went from green, take a look right here, to orange. All right, we're going to come right back to it. So there's one particular area, green, green, and we're to the bottom. All right, so take a look. We just had one area. It is one area, and it happened to be just orange. So let's go back up and let's take a look at it. All right, so what I would do as a classroom teacher, all right, and so we're looking at grade 3 right now. It says over here grade 3, and we're going to look at module 5, topic C, grade 3, module 5. So inside of topic C, we need to look at lesson 18 and 19. My gosh, I'd be getting out my module 5 book right now and going to lesson 18 and maybe getting a big yellow sticker and putting on there. We need to make sure that we add more to lesson 18 and 19 when they're talking about comparing fractions and whole numbers. And take a look here on 19, understanding distance and positions on number lines. I would be putting notes there. I need to be doing more as a classroom teacher. When we get to topic 5, I know I'm going to go there again, and I'm going to put a big sign that says, hey, I need to supplement the materials and addressing the not equal sign. Make sure that my students know what that sign means. So when we take state assessments, they don't raise their hand and go, Mrs. Kimsey, what is this? Because I remember I paid attention to that, and I made sure that my kids knew that when we were at module 5 in topic F. Okay, so make sure you're looking at the Kansas standards, you're comparing that. That's just another part of what Great Minds offers. okay? And that is when you go to, let me go back to my dashboard. So I'm up here in the orange where it says my dashboard. When I go to my resources, I would type in over here on search. I'm sorry with all this gobbledygook that's on here, but type in Kansas, you type in the word Kansas, standards. You would go to subject, click on math, go to grade, and click on whatever grade it is you teach. So G3, G2, so grade, right? Grade 4, and you would type that in and you would take a look at that information. While we're here, I'm going to show you something else that I have downloaded. I came out of the classroom to be the consulting math teacher. I was teaching the 4th grade. You can type in the parent tip sheets, and you can do that by grade level. And so they have them for all the different modules. And so fractions happens to be the hot topic right now that the kids are working on. And there is a parent tip sheet for each of the different topics. So let's do addition and subtraction here. I can just view it. I like to print these off, and it tells right up here if we're going to be using these for lessons 16 through 21. I love these. Take a look. There's our read, draw, write process. Guys, seriously, if you're not using the read, draw, write every single day, every single lesson, you're cheating the kids out of a very important part of what Eureka Math is all about and really what mathematics is all about, the beauty of all the patterns that are in math, instead of teaching the kids the rules that are in math. I would print these off, and I printed them off on front and back. They're always 2 pages long. I would print them off and give them to the kids. I put them in one of those page protectors, and I would have the kids pull them out. Take a look at this one. Here's a sample problem for lesson number 21. Here are suggestions for ideas of how kids can get help at home. And I printed them off and sent them home, but I found so often that they ended up staying in the backpacks overnight, right? I would send them out as emails. I sent them out, I used Class Dojo, sent them out on the Class Dojo. I used Seesaw, I sent them out on Seesaw. And I found that they were used more often if I sent them out in a digital way versus in the backpack. Because like you and I both know, they end up living in the backpack. But here's great help with the terminology. Again, this is wonderful to have for the kids. I had the kids pull those out. They would go through them. Here's decompose, decomposition, mixed numbers. You know how to read, all the different parts here. I love this particular part on the models in particular. This part I really love, especially for my kids who, had the a learning disability or would get foggy really easy about terminology. For our EL students, even for the paras who would come into the classroom and, they travel from room to room to room. And it's just nice for them to have this as a cheat sheet to help them as well. So here's with number bonds, what is a number line, and what is a tape diagram? So it's just wonderful information to have right there at the fingertips. And oftentimes it's just a great way for the kids to, the kids who are afraid to ask a question, they can go here and go, oh, that's what that is. I remember that now. Okay, so I would print those off, and again, I gave those both to my kids as a paper copy and sent them out digitally to my parents. Again, I'm going to go back up to my dashboard. And again, I got that from this area right here where it says my resources. And again, I've got all this gobbledygook right here that you just type in parent tip sheets. And then you can you change it to math because Great Minds does more than just math, and type in your grade level, okay? Those are some really important parts that I just want to make sure that you were well aware of. We're going to go back to our slideshow. Again, I absolutely love this part right here. I don't have my phone with me, or I'd show you. I've also downloaded this to my phone. It just dragged the website to the opening screen of my telephone. I travel from building to building, classroom to classroom, grade to grade, and I go into a classroom and I'm able to see, oh my gosh, that teacher up there is on, let's say, first grade, module 4. I'm able to go right to my phone and bring up the lesson and know what it is that they're doing today. And so I can walk around in the classroom and, it gives me a better expectation what's going on. And again, you could have it with you on your phone at home as well. It's just a really that navigator is just such an important tool, I think, right there. It's just awesome. And that's what we pay for as a school district for each of the classroom teachers. This part is not free. And so again, if you are not seeing an email from Yvonne Spalding, I'm going to talk to you at the very end of this about how I want you to email me and we will get you set up. All right, let's go back to our slideshow. I follow the Great Minds website. I follow them a couple different ways. I love Twitter. It's great to see out there on Twitter when they've made an addition or maybe their website's down, which has never happened, but when they've added something maybe in Spanish or another language, they keep it up to date. I follow them on Facebook, and I hope each and every one of you are following your grade level of Eureka on Facebook. It's nice to see when other teachers are struggling with an idea, they might put out there, you go to like 3rd grade Eureka Math. And it's nice to see across the nation, maybe everybody in 4th grade and module 5 and topic D, lesson 6, they're all struggling with how in the world do you teach that? What is a manipulative that you use, or what's a strategy that you use? And it's just nice to see. But please, as with anything with social media, please stay on the positive side. Don't get caught up in the negative comments or the negative problems that somebody is having. Not that you have to be Susie Sunshine or anything, but all I'm just saying is don't fall into the negatives. Pinterest, Great Minds, and Eureka Math is fantastic out there on Pinterest. And I get updates for all the different grade levels when Eureka Math or Great Minds has added an idea to Pinterest. They've done a wonderful job of putting together anchor charts and putting them out there. So that's a great thing to look at. And also manipulatives and suggestions and videos are also presented out there. Okay, so on Dashboard, these are some of the areas that I follow. I could spend 6-8 hours just talking about Great Minds alone. But the digital suite, the navigator, is the part that I love the most. I love the parent tip sheets. I find it extremely important before I start any of the modules. Did Eureka Math cover this the way that Kansas Standards wanted them to? So, take a look at that. All right. Okay, there's tons to teach here in Eureka, in the Great Minds website. Again, there's more than 18 hours of video for each of those lessons. Excuse me, not 18 hours for every lesson. There's 18 hours of video for every single grade level. Follow the curriculum map that's on the right-hand side because we go by quarters. You click on the modules, remember? And it gives you an estimated number of days. Remember, that's estimated, that's not written in stone. It gives you the module overview, which I think is so important for you to pay attention to. It's broken down by the topics and then by the lessons. Make sure that you as the classroom teacher, you know what's on the mid-module assessment, you know what's on the end-module assessment, because it's a test for you. It's a test to see, hey, did you cover the most important parts? And really the parts that you're going to see on those assessments are the DOK3 and the DOK4. And those are the type of things that will eventually, as the children get to grade 3 and higher, those are the things that are going to be on the state assessments. We find a great deal of comfort when our kids are doing things really, really well. We're like, but my kids did this extremely well. Those are the DOK1s and the DOK2s. Make sure we're stretching them and that they are being successful in the DOK3s and the DOK4s as well. Those are the things that you're seeing at the end of the problem sets. Those are the types of problems that you're seeing on the exit tickets. And remember, when they're able to do that independently, okay? So the module standards are broken down so we can see it progress. We talked about all of these different areas. This was up in that top right-hand corner of each page. Okay. The terminology section. I'm going to show you, I like the terminology. It's wonderful here for you as the classroom teacher to see and know what parts. I'm going to show you on Embarc how we can print it out in color, and I think it's a little bit more student friendly. There's nothing wrong with this part. I think what we're going to see on Embarc in just a moment is a little bit more student friendly, okay? And then we have the assessments, and last but not least, those love notes is what Great Minds refers to them. And they are more of a green color in your actual module, and the paper copy of your actual module. When we looked at those love notes online, they were more of a turquoise blue color. And we talked about how you would use those for with your students for differentiated learning, okay? So the navigator part again, we're going to break it down into topics and lessons. It gives us the topic overview, the number of days. Just want to make sure that you're remembering what all goes into each of those. I'm going to take you out to YouTube in just a second and show you some other videos as well. In the navigator part are the videos that are created by Great Minds. Those are not the Dwayne Haybacker ones. Those are created by Embarc. And I know that many of you know about that. There are two different types of videos, so I'm going to make sure that you know the difference between the two. The lessons, and we talked about all of this and showed it just moments ago. This is just a real quick reminder of all the things that we just saw. Some lessons have videos and some do not. The videos move from area to area. Remember how one of the videos that we saw was in the fluency part. All of those lessons were in PDFs that you could view, or there's really no reason for you to download and print them because they're in the children's actual journals that they have. All right, and the vignette, of course, is in the concept part. The vignette means the dialogue that you could possibly have with your students. Again, please do not be reading that out of the book to the kids. Your attention needs to be on the students and teaching the lesson, not on reading the lesson, okay? Make sure you know the difference. That debrief at the very end, I think, is an area that oftentimes gets skipped after the students do the problem set. And remember, they do not have to do every single problem in the problem set. Look at that exit ticket. What is the final thing that the kids need to be able to do? Look at the problem set. Check and see how do they match up. What's the most important part that the kids need to be able to do? In that debrief now, you're going to talk to the kids. All right, where were we successful, and what area do we maybe need a little bit more brushing up on? You have that discussion with the kids before you do the exit tickets. All right. Kindergarten was the only area where they have these checklists. And gosh, I think they're awesome. The parent tip sheets are available in both English and in Spanish. And again, I print them off front and back, and I give them to my students, and I send them digitally to the parents. The roadmap is the progression part, and I'm going to show you this over at Embarc as well. And so that was also up there in that top corner where it gave us an idea as to where did this standard first start? Remember when we were looking at fractions, we were looking at 4th grade, and the standard started back in 3rd grade. And then in 3rd grade, if we looked at it in 3rd grade, it began as geometry back in 2nd grade. Well, where does it go from here? Well, after I teach it as a 4th grade teacher in 5th grade, they're not going to see it until they get to module 5. And so we need to make sure it's cemented into them now, because module 5 is not until maybe February of next year. So how does this align to the Kansas standards? We talked about that. We talked about the importance of making sure that we're looking to see what areas of the Kansas standards is covered well, and what do we maybe need to go into the Eureka math book, make ourselves a note and say, hey, when I get to this lesson, I need to make sure that I cover this particular area with a little bit more information, okay? Because no textbook um, is going to cover every single, all 50 states standards well. So use that checklist. All right, so again, if you are not already connected to Great Minds, which I hope every single one of you are, please email me. But first, what you need to do, because Yvonne will send me an email and say, hey, tell them I sent them an email back on August, 12th, 13th, 18th, whatever. But you need to go to your Google email and go to your Gmail account. You're going to go up there to that search button, that search bar at the very, very top, and type in Yvonne Spalding. Click enter. Back in August of 2019, Yvonne sent you an email, and that email came from Great Minds. You need to open that and follow the information. Now, if your name has changed, if you changed grade levels, if you changed positions in the school district, you did not get the email, please email me. I'm Diane Kimsey, dkimsey@tps501.org. In the subject line, please type Great Minds account, and we will get you set up as soon as we can. All right? Okay, that's Great Minds. Now, let's boogie on to Embarc. This is the Embarc address up here at the top. So take a look at that. And I'll give you a second if you would like to go ahead and bring up embarc.online/. Okay, everybody there? Fantastic. I'm going to take a quick drink of water while a couple of you still get connected. All right, here we go. Embarc Online is a free website. This is a website that is managed by a man named Dwayne Haybacker out in California. And I'm sure several of you remember back in about February, we were we would go to Embarc Online, and up would come an orange bar, I think it was orange, that said that the site had been blocked or something. The problem was Dwayne's servers out in California were getting hit by everybody all over the world who uses Eureka Math or Engage New York. And he was getting more traffic than his website, than his servers could handle. And so it was not a USD 501 thing, it was an issue that was happening across the entire world. And it was his servers were getting hit hard, fast, and furiously. And so I like to use when we've been asked different questions by teachers since we've gone to the videos online to do the teaching during this COVID-19 time. How in the world are the teachers using these flip charts to teach? Where are they getting these lessons at? I'd love to see them. And so Embarc provides, we use Active Inspire, the Promethean boards, right? The software is called Active Inspire. We use Promethean flip charts, and we can also use Google Slideshows. And you can download these for free from Embarc. Dwayne Haybacker has been kind enough to create them along with a team of his teachers and put them out there on their website for us to use for free. Now, one thing I really want to stress, and you're going to hear this from me several different times throughout this presentation, is that when you download one, please make sure you're making a copy so that way you can continue to use this time next year, long into the future. And by making a copy, you can also go in and make adjustments that fit for you and for your students. And so I think that's a really important thing. So let's go ahead and get started here. Before we get too far into this, I wanted to share with you, in case you don't have the Promethean software on your laptop with you at home, I didn't have it on my laptop, and so just before this presentation, I went to this very website right here, downloaded it, and set it up. So I'll give you a moment to write down that website right there. Please don't download it right now. It's going to take a little bit of time, and we're just going to keep moving with this presentation. So go ahead and write that down. support.prometheanworld.com/article/1052/. I'll give you a moment. Okay, when you go to this website, I really liked it as it is a very user-friendly website. It's obvious that they get a lot of questions from people about, now what do I do? Because they have pictures for every single step that you do. So again, please don't do it right now. They will take you totally through step by step, picture by picture of getting you set up so you can have the Promethean software right here on your computer. And so you can be playing with it at home between now and when you actually get back to your brick and mortar classroom and your big, beautiful Promethean board there in your classroom. All right. We're going to go to the website in just a moment, but meanwhile, I want to point out some of the things that we're going to see when we get there. You're going to find that there are oodles of videos that are created by Dwayne Haybacker. I'm going to take you to YouTube. We're going to talk about how you're going to subscribe to him and follow him and get to everything. He has more things to download than I can begin to share with you in this hour. All kinds of information about the standards aligned to activities. Something I absolutely love to do with my classroom is do number talks and so many more additional resources. All of the exit tickets, this is really nice, especially if we have some math interventionists who are watching, or if we have special education educators watching, EL educators watching, those of you who do more than one grade level. He has a particular it's a spreadsheet that you can download, and it has every single exit ticket from pre-K through, I believe he has it all the way up to 8th grade. And so you would have access to these. He even has all the application problems, which I absolutely love the application problems. But he has these where you can use the, as you can see up here at the, let me move my picture down. He has the QR code for them. And by clicking on that QR code, by the kids using that and scanning it, the QR code, it will actually read the application problem to the students. So again, you are supposed to read the application problem to the kids. This isn't reading, this is math. And down at the bottom, I love that it has the read, draw, write, and the kids can click off as, you know, can give themselves a check mark. Yep, I read it. Draw, okay, I need to draw something. Yep, I did it. Write, yep, I need to write something. All right, I can check mark that off. And that will, again, always help you to get to the answer. But they are presented in this manner as well for the kids to do their application problems on. This is awesome, the games, and I'm going to show you these in just a bit as well. That he has these entire books available of games for every single topic in every single module. Not necessarily every single lesson though, okay? All right, so I'm out to Embarc right now, and we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to click up here at the top on Embarc Online, and hopefully that's where you're at as well. When we go to this, I think it's very important that we pay attention to, he has this section right here that's called announcements. And you can click on the pause button, that's all that is right there. And he has them going across. And I love this particular part right here. I'm going to pause it. Whoops. I guess I'm going to play. I'm going to pause it right there where it says announcements again. All application problems are now on Google Slides. What? So let's click right here where it says check it out. All right, so let's take a look right here. So let's say we teach grade 3, it's right here in the middle. I'm going to click on grade 3, application problems. Let's scroll down a little bit. My goodness, that keeps wanting to pop up, doesn't it? All right, well, I like Google Slides. This very first one, that's for Microsoft. I'm not a Microsoft person, but my gosh, I love my Google Slides. So I'm going to click right here where it says application problems on Google Slides. So I click on it, and just like that, Eureka application problems, take a look, for kindergarten through the 5th grade. Down at the very, very bottom of my screen, down here at the bottom. So if I want to go to 1st grade, boom, I'm now on 1st grade, and it tells me right here I'm on grade 1, the application problems. I want to look at 4th grade ones. Down here to the bottom, click on 4. There are all the application problems for the 4th grade. Okay, so I want to go to, let's say I'm on grade 4, I think, right? Yes, there it is, grade 4. I'm on module 5. I want to see what lesson 9, its application problem looks like. Click on it, and just like that, it's now a full Google slideshow. Now wait a second, hold on. Here's module 5, lesson 9. There's the application problem. Down here at the bottom, he's even put in a note. But watch this, friends. If I take the slide, the elevator, and go all the way up to the top, click on this with grade 4. Guys, this is a full Google slideshow of every single 4th grade application problem for the entire year. They're all right here. Now listen, this is his, so you can't write on it, you can use it. But what I would do in a heartbeat is click on the word file. Come on, computer, click on the word file, go down to make a copy of the entire presentation and keep it. Okay, that's all there is to it. And boom, now it's mine. And if I want to make changes, I can make changes to it. If I think, gosh, every single time I teach module 1, lesson 3, they've given us some information down here at the bottom. Oh, this is that terrible one about 10 times as much. Oh my gosh, kids really struggle on that, don't they? But this is where I could make myself a note and come down here and type in, all right, I was successful because I did blah, 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 blah. So next year when I teach this, I can remember, oh yeah, in order to be successful, I need to do this, this, and that, okay? And if there's something that I said that really worked, I can click in the Google slideshow itself, if it were my own copy, and I can put in hint, make sure you always say this, right? But make sure you go in and, because take a look, you're in view only. You cannot make any changes. Make sure you make yourself a copy and keep it. Isn't that the bomb diggity? So I can go back, and again, right here, I would make a copy of this as well, make a copy, and I have access to every single application problem from kindergarten through 5th grade. How awesome is that, right? And again, let's say I teach 2nd grade, and I'm like, all right, so I'm in 2nd grade, and my kids right now are on, let's say, module 6, lesson 7. I click on it. How is it again that I get the whole year? Oh yeah, I click on it, take the elevator, go all the way up to the top and take a look. I've got the whole year. What do I do next? Make a copy. Make a copy. Everybody good? Isn't Embarc amazing? How cool is that? All right, let's go back out here. So where did we get that at? Well, again, I'm going to go up here to the very top, Embarc Online. So those of you who are writing notes, when you go to Embark Online, there's always a commercial right here. That's okay. This website's free. You can have all the commercials at once. Right here in the area that's called announcements, he's talking about Go Formative, and there he says all application problems are now in Google Slides. Check it out. Go Formative, Google Slides. I'm going to go down here to the end. I'm going to click on that pause button. Okay, that's all I did. And then I clicked on check it out. Boom, I was there. Isn't that awesome? Now let's also go on down to this area. So I'm going to move my picture. All right, I'm going to Embarc Online. I didn't mean to click on something. I think I did. All right, update about Embarc. And everything about Embarc now, all the materials are now free. It used to be that only if you belonged to his school district could you get to everything. And only some things were available for us. Now everything is available. Isn't that amazing? So we come on down, and here's some of his information about all the different areas. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but the homework part, wouldn't it be nice to have the solutions? Well, take a look. Here are the solutions to all the homework. I think that's pretty awesome. Um, here's information about the videos. We're going to get into that in just a minute, okay? Don't go there yet. And so I think that's about it. Oh, this is great. His lesson plans about how to squeeze a great minds, a Eureka math lesson into 1 hour. Here's his lesson plan to give you some idea, his template, and he gives you some ideas there, okay? I'm gonna go back up to the top. And that particular part, that changes often. So don't get used to things being exactly where they're at. That part does change. I'm going to go up here to the top. 4th grade happens to be right here in the middle. And I'm going to go right here to where it says 4th grade. But all your grade levels, I'm not clicking, I'm just moving my mouse over, and the menu opens up down below. I don't know about you, but typically when I first started using Embarc, I immediately went to the module that I was on. I skipped right over home and general info. Oh my gosh, was I missing out. Everybody, let's click on home. And I'm just going to scoot down here a little bit. And so this is incredible information that I can find. So this is how you get to everything. But so that's the home. Okay, that's great. I'm gonna go back up. I'm gonna go now to where it says general info. I like this area. I like it better. All right, I just wanted you to see both. Back in the day, I've taught a 2-3 combo. I've taught a 3-4 combo, a 4-5 combo. So, you know, part of my class, they were enrolled as 4th graders, and part of my class, they were enrolled as 5th graders. And, you know, that was a chore to balance 2 curriculums and try to meet the needs of both and do it successfully. Well, I think he's done a really neat job here. I don't know how many or if we even have combination classrooms right now, but this is a great way of seeing how to meet the needs of both. So if that's a need, all right. This next part is, again, we saw this when we were looking at the opening pages back in Great Minds, when it gave us the overview for an entire module. And then when it gave us information about each topic, it told us when we could omit a lesson or when we could condense a lesson or combine lessons. And here it is once again, okay? Here's the pacing guide, and again, this is part of that roadmap that's back in Great Minds. We can click on it right here, and they give us an idea of, again, make sure that you're spending maybe 2 days on this lesson, and again, condensing these lessons. You could omit this one. And so here it is spelled out again. This is your exit tickets. It's totally ready to go for Google Classroom. So let's take a look at that. Exit tickets for Google Classroom. Again, you know, we have the journals. Not all school districts bought the books, bought the journals for their students. And so we are very fortunate that our school district has bought us the journals. But this is a way that you can use the exit tickets. And, you know, right now we're doing online teaching. And for the classrooms that are in grades 3, 4, and 5, that are using Google Classroom, this is a way that you can be using your exit tickets with your students online. So I'm going to go ahead here and click on exit tickets for Google, and it's giving us links for every single one of the grade levels. And again, I'm going to let you do this when you have time. I'm going to go down here since I'm picking on grade 4 at the moment, and click on grade 4. And again, just like it did with the application problems, down here at the bottom, it gives me every single grade level. And let's say we're working on grade 5, we're working on lesson 8. I can click on it right here, boom, bring this up, and there's the exit ticket. It's a PDF form. I can download it, put it in Google Classroom, send it out to my kids. There are different ways that my kids can actually open this, and they can annotate on it with the Chrome, you like that? The Chrome add-on called Cami, and the kids can write right on top of this. It doesn't work very well to bring it in as a Google Doc, so don't waste your time in doing that. Okay, so that's a way of getting it in spreadsheet form. Again, we're very fortunate that our school district bought for us the journals for all of our kids, which, you know, it happen to be very nice when we're back in the brick and mortar, right? But not so nice right now. All right, the application problems using the QR codes, I showed you those as a picture, and here they are again. They will it downloads directly to your drive, which is pretty darn amazing. And let's say we want this one right here. I open it up and gosh, hold on here. There we go. Sorry about that. And I can go ahead and advance this to the different pages. Come on. Well, come on, computer. Oh, okay, I see. Well, I'm sorry, it's not allowing me to, oh, here we go. Maybe I can scroll now. Okay, there we go. It wasn't allowing me to scroll there for a moment. Maybe I'm not giving it enough time to download. But the lesson should be showing right here with the QR code. And it could just be the mere fact that I'm not giving it enough time to download. So I'm just going to go ahead and go out. And I think that's the problem. So sorry, but it downloads immediately to your Google Drive and everything will be right there. I promise you. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and close that out. Here's the standard alignment. And this is where it building fluency through games. And so we can click on this. This is really pretty amazing. You're going to enjoy this. Kids love to play math games. You can come down here to grade 4 since that's what we're picking on right now. And so it's going to download this entire book, which is 92 pages long. Please don't print it. Just do it right here online. I'm going to scoot on down to the table of contents. So when I get to the table of contents, I can say, okay, we can look at things by the standard, and I know that MBT, so 4th grade MBT 3 happens to be an area that I want to hit. And so if I go, take a look right here, I have a game that's called Climbing Chimney Rock. And I know if I go to page 20, and so I can come on down, probably come down here to the bottom and type in 20. Let's see if it'll let us do it. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. So we'll just spin it until we get to 20. Sorry about that. We're halfway there. All right, so come on down. That looks like we're climbing a rock, doesn't it? And we're on 18, 19. Wow, that's Becca's battle. Sorry about that. Well, let's pretend it's Becca's battle so I don't totally use up all your time. But here's the actual information, the directions for the game. And then here would be, oh, this is a great one because kids really struggle on place value, don't they? And so there happens to be the game board and all the numbers that you would print off. There's Climbing Chimney Rock. So I was almost there. Okay, so same kind of thing. And so I would just hit the printer button. I would pay attention to this page number that I'm on, and you would tell the printer to custom print. So you're not printing all 92 pages, you're printing just those pages, okay? And make sure you're printing just one copy so you don't make a mistake. All right. And so that's a great way to get to the games that you can use for all the different workstations. And so they have games for all the different grade levels there. Sorry, preschool, they don't have one there for you. All right. Again, I'm going to go back up. I'm going to go to general information with the grade levels, slide on down, see if there's anything else in particular that I want to show you. The 3-act tasks are also wonderful to get to. Here are your number talks. If you've never seen a number talk before, go out to YouTube and watch a number talk. I think you'll find it fascinating, and it's a great way to get the kids to talk about numbers instead of just working with numbers. Extra resources. Now, here we go with the vocabulary cards I was telling you about. And so the vocabulary cards, as you can see, this is just an example here. The vocabulary cards are in color. They're big and bold. And again, it's going to download right to my Google Drive, and it's going to do so with information for every single grade level. How cool is that? And there they are right here. And then information to go with every single grade level about the vocabulary cards. Isn't that great? Again, this is on Embarc. It's totally for free. Please utilize it. I think it's awesome. All right, I'm going to use my back arrow. All right, so that is just looking at the general information. Now let's go to a module. So I'm going to go to module 5. So I come on down, and I'm in module 5 now, and it starts off up here at the top with just some general information. Here are the fluency games, Eureka lessons, and a breakdown. And right here, this is the bomb diggity. This is something that is brand new. So teach Eureka lesson breakdown. So I'm going to click on it. And this is just so incredible. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to maximize this. And again, in a heartbeat, one of the first things I would do is come up here to File, and I would make myself my own personal copy. All right. So that would be one of the very first things I would do. Here's detailed information about Module 5, answer keys. This is really awesome, friends, right here. This is how you're going to get to your newsletters that are written in both English and Spanish. And again, all you do is you're going to click right here. You're going to click and open. And here, these are Dwayne Hay backers. These are not great minds. Now you could definitely run off both to use with your kids. Again, I would run these off front and back and have the kids use them big time. And then I would send them home digitally for the parents, okay? Again, sometimes you need to print them, and they do go home in the backpack, and they actually show up in parents' hands. They actually make it to the, the refrigerator. I think these are awesome, the way that they are laid out, they are presented, the Common Core standards and how they're written out, spotlight, tape diagram information. I think these are essential for your paras who come into your classroom. I think they are so important for your special education teachers, the EL teachers. These are just loaded with fabulous information. And I can't imagine teaching Eureka Math without these newsletters. Okay, and so there it is in English. And I will also print this. Let me show you. It should be, there we go. You should also, here we go. Let's do it in Spanish. And there we go, there it is in Spanish, okay? These are available from kindergarten through 5th grade. Preschool, I have downloaded and sent out to each of the administrators the parent newsletters for preschool. And I did it in English, and where Spanish was available, I also provided it in Spanish. Okay, so preschool teachers, your administrators have access to a drive, and if they're struggling finding it, I have too many drives, I know myself, shoot me an email and I'll send it to you, okay? All right, so I think that is really, really awesome. Also, as we go on down, he gives you access to the Great Minds website, which is where I took you to start with. Now, this is beyond fantastic. From the Great Minds website, I showed you that there were videos. Well, there are also videos right here on Embarc. And so what he's going to show you is, so in topic A, for the problem set, there's a video. Come on over here. For the homework set, there's a video. So there's 9 minutes worth of videos right here. These are excellent for you, the teacher, to know what words should you use when you're teaching this. You know, if you're struggling with number bonds and taking 7 8s and turning that into a number bond, you're like, say, what? I didn't learn how to do this when I was a kid. Watch these videos so you know what to do before you teach them to the kids. And again, if you're showing them to the class, you're actively involved in watching that video and doing that information with your students, okay? All right, I think that is just awesome how he's got this all broken out for you. And then these are the PDFs for the different parts for the lesson itself. And there's the homework part as well. And again, we happen to be very, very fortunate that our district bought those for us. So we already have those in our journals. Not all districts do that. Now I'm going to go on down because here's parent newsletter for each of the topics. You can do it from here. Here's a topic quiz for each topic as well. Now, we do not use a smartboard. We use the Promethean board. So now let's come on down. Here is lesson 1. Let's say that's the lesson that I happen to be on. Here's the video that Dave Haybacker has for for this lesson. Here's the lesson in PDF. Again, that's in the student's handbook. Here's homework solutions. That we don't have. That you might enjoy having. Here's your Promethean flip chart, Google Slides. Here's an exit ticket solution. We don't have the solutions. And then here's a Go Formative ticket, and that is a slideshow all in its own. All right, let's go to the Promethean flip chart. I'm going to click on it right here. Here is the Promethean flip chart. I'm going to click on it. It's going to ask you, do you want to preview this or do you want to download it? Or there's no preview available. So you want to download it, and yes, I do. So I'm going to download it. My computer always comes up and says, hey, what name do you want to give it? And that's fine for this moment. And I'm going to save it, and down it falls. Now, are you noticing that it fell down, that it is right down here, okay? And that's really important. The next step is what I'm going to do. I'm going to clear that so it doesn't show up on the next step, okay? Also on my computer, I guess I need the annotation again. I already have up my Promethean flip chart. See the Active Inspire? It's already up on my computer. It's hiding in the background somewhere. All right, so I'm going to come down here and I'm going to double click on this. Did you see that yellow bar pop up? It told me that it's downloading it. It's uploading it to the flip chart. So I'm going to come down, click on it, and take a look. There it is. And so it is ready now for me to go. Before you teach this, you need to practice this. So you need to go through and see, well, what in the world is on here? You also need to go through and make a copy of this for yourself. Save this so you have this. I love how it gives the objective that you can go over with your kids. It has some different animation kind of things that you can use with your kids. It also has notes up here that you can click on and go over with your kids. Again, this is part of the concept part. This is not for you to read. These are not how the students necessarily will respond. I'm going to go ahead and close that window. Again, you need to know, what is it I need to say right here? And if there's something on there that you're like, oh man, I hope I remember to say that. Come on, open up. Oh, I've closed it. All right, press F2. Let's see. Oh, anyway, we'll get back to that another time. If there was something there that you really want to make sure that you want to say, you know what, you can type that in right here and say, be sure and say blah, 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 blah. And so you have that note, and the kids are going to see that you have that there too. And they're going to go, hey, Mrs. Kimsey, did you mention that part? All right. And so there's the whole flip chart. So everything that you would need for this particular one. Now, if you're not a flip chart type person, maybe you prefer to do the Google Slides, okay? And so then we can go back, just click on the back button. I can go to the Google Slides, and it's the exact same format. I'm going to click right here, and up it comes as a Google Slide. Now, notice again, you're in view only. You want to make sure that you have your own copy so you can make your own changes to this. All this should look very familiar. All right. We don't use I can statements, so you might want to change this to, you should change this to your learning intention can go in here. You can put in your, or excuse me, yes, your learning intention, then add in your success criteria. But you would need to go in and do File, Make a Copy. Okay. All right. So that's how you get to all the different wonderful parts of, let me go back to Embarc, and seeing a lesson, seeing it as a flip chart, and seeing it as a Google slideshow. He has this available for every single part. Let's go to the video part. I'm going to click on video. And as you see, it is parked right in here. Well, how can we get to these ourselves? So I'm going to go on out to YouTube. And when you go to YouTube, I want you to just type in Dwayne Haybacker's name. All right, so go up there to the search part, type in Dwayne Haybacker. And when you do, there's Dwayne. You'll want to subscribe to him. So I'm going to click on his name. And the way that when I subscribe to somebody, especially Dwayne, because he has so many videos, I like to look at him by playlists. So I'm going to click on playlists. And it's just how I like to look at it. All right, so we come on down. You're going to see there's grade 1, grade 2, sorry, kindergarten and preschool, but I have a feeling they're coming soon. Let's say I'm in grade 4 and I'm in module 5. I'm going to click where it says full playlist. So I click on full playlist. Here are all the modules on the right. All right, so here's grade 4, module 5, all the lessons on the right. Let's say I'm on lesson 5. I'm going to click on it. As you know, if you've watched his videos, they typically start with a introduction. I'm going to click on that ad, and there he is. And there's Dwayne. This is the guy who is the king of Embarc. All right. So let's go on back to here. I'm going to, sorry, Dwayne, I'm going to stop you. And so that's where we get all the videos that we are using and adding to our online classes. Again, those are videos for you, the classroom teacher, to watch. He's giving you ideas on how to teach this lesson. He's giving you ideas on how to better understand some of the vocabulary, the terminology, the ways that Eureka teaches math versus how you were taught math some years ago. All right. And so it's a very important thing for you to watch. Again, if you're going to share these with the students, you're actively part of the learning. This is not when you're going to go check your email. You're actively part of the learning with the kids. You're going to stop the video, talk to the kids about it. What do you think is going to happen next? And so make sure you're using it as a learning tool with your students. All right, I've shared with you a great deal of information. Embarc is loaded. I could spend hours talking about it. I could spend days talking to you about great minds. And I think I've gone over my time limit already. Thank you for coming. Come back to the video if you need to watch this again. There's a Google form here at the end that we would like for you to take a look at. And again, thank you so much. I hope you will leave this video today learning a little bit more about great minds. Let me go ahead and stop sharing. About great minds and about the Embarc website. Give me a holler if you need more information. Just send me an email, Diane Kimsey. Go to Gmail, dkimsey@tps501.org. I hope to see you guys soon. Please stay safe. Now, go wash your hands. All right. Thanks a million, everybody. Take care.